Another installment of Skip Sauntering Snippets, number 23. This time about the NHGOP. Now, we do have a new chair, Chris Ager, and a whole slate of new people on the executive board, as they have, the NHGOP just had their annual meeting this past Saturday. So, new secretaries, new treasurers, quite a few new area vice chairs, this, that, and the other thing. And I was watching because I was receiving complaints during the NHGOP annual meeting as to how it was being run, how chaotic and disorderly it was. I've put up a couple of folks, in fact, I've got another one to do when I get home, of what they observed and some of the problems that they saw. But I was waiting to see the ultimate organizational part. When would all these new elected officers be put out by the NHGOP on their own website and on Twitter and on their Facebook page? And part of it was, well, if Maya Harvey, who works for the New Hampshire Senate, if you look at her email address, still had her signature page saying, "Oh, I am the press secretary for the NHGOP. I submitted names of Groksters, and we were refused. We were not credentialed. And yet we now know that there were non-credentialed people there. We are the largest media outlet that defends Republican ideals, and none of our Groksters were allowed entrance. But others, others were allowed to enter." And the email from Maya said, well, so many national press folks wanted to come. Well, that's cool. The operative question is, and what do they do for the NHGOP? They come, they video Trump, and they left. What do they do for the NHGOP? What do most press think about Republican ideals in the first place? Are they there to help out the NHGOP? Are they there to defend the NHGOP? No, they're there merely for the ratings. Granite Grok, on the other hand, we do more defending Republican ideals on a weekly basis than the NHGOP on their press outlets do all year long. So I decided to do an experiment. How long would it take them to put up the information that, we just had elections and here's all the new people? I expected that if the press secretary, doing her due diligence, would have stuck to her guns and stuck to her duties, that information would have been up almost immediately, that she would have gone and sat in a corner with a laptop and updated the website. That's her job. Or, if it's not her job directly, tell the person who's the webmaster to do it now. After all, that's important. That's what the base wanted. Did it happen? No, not at all. I watched the Twitter page. I watched the Facebook page. I especially looked at the NHJOP.org site. The same old executive committee was there. Same thing on Sunday. Same thing Monday morning. I took receipts. But what I did see, however, was seemingly a new class of people, sort of like Joe Sweeney, Joe Alexander, Ross Berry, Maya Harvey. There's a small group of political operatives, the young guns, if you want to call them. Their faces got put up on Facebook, not a mention of Chris Ager. They were on Twitter. No mention of the other elected officers. Not a word. Why is that? That's the operative question. Who's in control? Who's doing the job? who had the responsibility. Now, I'm hoping that things are going to be better with the NHGOP. Sad to say, but, we've been after the NHGOP for quite some time. We don't care what alphabet letter is after your name, but we especially hold Republicans to a higher standard, especially at the NHGOP. And according to one of our unofficial mottos of we thank them when they do right, but we spank them when they do wrong, there's been a lot wrong with the NHGOP. And certainly this last November's election didn't help that perception. So, with all that said, is the displaying of these young guns over the newly elected officers elected by the state committee members who were in themselves elected by the base. Is that a sign of dysfunction? So yes, I'm picking on the NHGOP operative class. I like that idea, the operative class. Again, Ross Berry, Joe Alexander, and Joe Sweeney were the ones who decided that they knew better than anybody else because of their young age and higher than expected, how do I want to put this, belief in themselves, that they should put in a bill that greatly raised the cost to run for governor and for U.S. Senate and for president. Well, they were mocked soundly by lots of people. I'm hoping that they learned. I had hoped that they had learned from that to say, okay, maybe our heads have gotten too big for our hats. But no, when you put up all of the volunteers, and some of them weren't part of that class, before you put up those that have been elected, that signifies a problem to me. So we'll see. I'm hoping that Chris Ager, more of a businessman and more of an activist who has said he is going to be more partial to the grassroots in a number of different ways, will change things. I'm Skip. This is Skip Sauntering Snippets. And once again, I bet you I've put myself into a kettle of boiling water. What else is new?
Croc TV.